As a teenager, Megan made her mother take melodramatic pictures of her, like this one, staring at a birdcage, or this one, behind a plant. Artsy.
This is so mortifying that I can't believe I even turned this over to you
Whoa.
guys.
This
Is my book of poetry.
Can you tell me a little bit about this poem here? What inspired that?
I was madly in love in high school with an unobtainable boy, and he was a stoner, so I became a stoner out of nowhere, being like super Squaresville up until then. And I then also was moved to write all of these poems as an homage to my love for this boy. So I, embarrassingly enough, was like at least a junior in high school when these were composed. Am I reading this now?
Yeah, please.
The sea moves stonily with much dark tension from the windless coves and sprays its fine, bad tails between us. Oh my God. Our torn sails beat like hearts in the wind. Why does it tangle our souls with its salty, trembling scarves? As it tangles our hair and our eyes. Oh my God. It was an unrequited love, so that's what drove me. We never kissed, even. He just held my hand a couple of times. Had he showed interest in me, I probably would have gotten bored with him in like 5 seconds, but it fit into my whole dramatic romance, like my tragic love scenario. It like fit right in.
I feel like Megan is a hopeless romantic. She would love every scenario that we enter into to be something out of Wuthering Heights. Like she loves the romance, both of love and just the tragedy of love. Like, and so it's a fun thing to compliment and try to feed into.
But we're both sappy. There's a lot of baby talk in our house too, which I'm
sensing a nickname suddenly.
Oh well,
we just call each other Mom and Pop.
Mom and Pop, yeah, and I call him Papa or Dad or Poppy or
Big Nuts.
Big Nuts. We have a lot of endearments.
As a teenager, Nick loved to ski. The only thing he loved more than skiing was taking his shirt off.
Well, it looks about the same as now, except less whiskers.
It's so cute.
I really was emulating George Michael.
You're staring at that very intently, by the way.
Yeah. You're like really, like pretty almost.
Would you have gone for him in high school?
Yeah. If we were the same age and met in high school, we would have been like super cute, hot couple.
Would you have gone for her as a kid?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's creepy. The first time I went to her mom's house and saw pictures of her as an 18-year-old dancer, it was pretty upsetting. I had to excuse myself.
In high school, Megan wrote an essay about the future. In it, she predicts women won't have to cook anymore. Everyone will eat pills. She only got an A-. It wasn't her only attempt at writing about grown-up life.
Oh, God.
This is a story that, Megan, you wrote?
Yes, I did. The story is about a husband and wife. And I wrote it when I was in probably 9th or 10th grade.
Did you think it was brilliant?
Yeah.
I'd love to have you read some of this story.
You're going to die. You're going to fucking freak out.
Yeah, let's do that. Didn't Baker call today? He must have called.
What? No, he hasn't called today.
Damn it, Barbara. Do you even answer the phone anymore? Or don't you hear it when it rings? You've gotten so goddamn scatterbrained these days, it wouldn't surprise me if you just stood at that window all day long. Phone rings and you don't even know. Just stand there, oblivious to anything. He must have called.
Harold, he didn't call. Don't you believe me? Maybe he got tied up or something. He didn't call. No one called, all right? Why do you do this? Why can't you be nice about it?
Barbara, really, you've got to stop getting so upset whenever I ask you a question. You know how these outbursts of yours worry me. I wish you'd try to control yourself. If not for your own sake, then for mine. Just look at you. You've started getting nervous again. Maybe you should take a pill and go lay down. Holy shit.
So now you've never read this out loud or even seen this story before, Nick?
I never have.
Does this mimic any of the actual fights that you have?
That's how we argue. She stands at that window.
We argue like we're from the 1950s.
And I call her Barbara.
Oh my God.
The thing that blows my mind is that it wouldn't have occurred to me till sometime in college that a person would take a pill to go lie down. Like,
well, I don't even know where I got that from, because that must have been, I got that from some book I read or something, because my parents didn't take pills.
What would you have written?
this is the difference in our upbringings, is that Megan had access to, like, this is a cultured mind. This is a mind at work, and I, at the same age, we just would have been so much more simplistic. I would have written something about a guy playing baseball, like, you know, Jim was worried about the big game, but he had sprained his ankle, you know. Like.
In my mind, I was channeling probably some movies I'd seen where husbands and wives were doing what husbands and wives do. And I always loved it when the woman went crazy. Like, that was a theme of mine that I loved.
Next, Nick relives the smooth moves on Megan.
I think this is going to be really fun. I'm Nick.
Nick and Megan spent years honing their craft in the theater. Both of them persevered well into their 30s before hitting it big on TV. Their love of theater proved helpful in other ways, too.
We met doing a play at a great theater company in L.A. called the Evidence Room.
I was kind of, like, shunned by the rest of the cast because I think that they wanted to, like, ignore me before I ignored them, because it was right after the second season of Will and Grace, and I think they thought I was, like, the fancy TV girl or something.
I was predisposed to not be impressed by this TV
He didn't watch
lady.
TV.
I didn't have a TV.
He'd never seen Will and Grace, which was good.
But when we did the first read-through in a cast of 25 sitting in a circle, Megan just stuck out as so hilarious, which is what prompted me to approach her afterwards and say, "You're hilarious. I think this is going to be really fun. I'm Nick."
There was a little bit of a comedy of errors because he asked for my phone number and I gave him my fax number, and he left a message on it asking me to go hear some music. It was like a cowboy band, and I didn't get the message till like 2 weeks later, so for 2 whole weeks he thought I just totally like iced him. But then when I realized that he left that message, I thought it was really sweet, and I think we were starting to flirt more by that time.
That Megan took a chance on me. It was quite a roll of the dice that she rescued me from the squalor I was living in at the time.
But he was sleeping in somebody's, on a couch in somebody's basement. The first time we went out to dinner, he was wearing yellow overalls, and he tucked his napkin into the bib of his overalls. That is no joke.
Fastidious.
And he had everybody's phone. He didn't have any paper, so he had everybody's phone numbers written on on the pants of his overalls. Couldn't afford paper.
Growing up, Nick and Megan couldn't have been any more different. He was a rule breaker while she was a brooding artist. Yet beneath it all, it seems they spent their childhood searching for the same thing.
Hold this, Nick.
You're
and Megan, I want you to hold this.
Oh, I think we just got back from Santa Fe. Look. I was in a very hippie/Native American phase because we used to go to Santa Fe on our vacations. I was feeling groovy, I think it's safe to say.
What do you think this kid's happiest moment was?
Gosh, I hate to say it, but, you know, alone in my room, like making up stuff and then maybe like showing it to my mom.
What was the hardest thing the kid in that photo had to endure?
My parents are incredibly decent, good people, and that was a lot of what made me a shitty kid. Because I think it's just nature. Like, if they were like, everything's white, just want you to know everything's white, I'd just go around looking for black. And so the hardest thing for me was doing things wrong and then having to face that with my mom and dad, you know.
What do you think that kid wanted most in life? And do you think they got it?
Oh, I know I got it, yeah.
What did that kid want?
Well, I mean, I wanted to be able to express myself creatively, obviously. A little cry for help there. And I've been able to do that.
I think the reason I sought people's attention so much when I was a kid is because I wanted to be recognized as a unique individual. And so I definitely feel like I've gotten what this kid wanted, which is to be recognized for my unique, weird, take on the world.
Do you have a sense of pride about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad that we found each other.
Yeah, I mean, something I think we really love in each other is that we never make easy choices. The role of Karen, for example, is such a crazy, weird clown that 1,000 people could read that role and you would never come up with what Megan did.
Like hearing all of Nick's stories and my stories, I think it's really interesting. We have a similar way of looking at the world based on our childhoods, Even though they seem like they would be very different, they were actually rather similar. I think the whole thing is sort of moving, I almost feel a little choked up or something.
Well, it moved right at the end. The things that made us unique and become performers are the very things that a lot of kids are ostracized for in ways we both were. I definitely was made to feel that I was weird